Tales from the wild. Stories from the heart. A journey into the mind and soul of fired-up business professionals where they share their vision for the future. And hear from a different non-profit organization every month as they create awareness of their goals and their needs. Dive into a world of untamed passion as we join our host, Shireen Buerta, for this month's episode of Friends from Wild Places.
I also will work with a lot of just emotional stuff. So people come to see me for any type of fear. Fear is on a continuum. On one end of the fear, you got an uneasy feeling. It's not very strong. On the other end, it starts getting names. People will start calling it things like nervousness, worry. They may use the word fear, strong fear. They may use anxiety. They use that feeling, that name a lot for fear. Sometimes it's diagnosed, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they'll self-diagnose, sometimes panic, sometimes phobias. They'll talk about those things. Sometimes they're terrified. I work on all of those things. I also, and so it doesn't matter what your phobia is, it's just basically fear to me, whether it's spiders or elevators or the fear of blood or the fear of heights. I work on fear of flying, fear of giving presentations. It's a big one. I also work on perfectionism and people are so that a lot of times people are so uptight because they're trying to be perfect all the time. We can relieve that. You'll still be a high achiever. You'll love it so much more. I also work a lot on caring too much what other people think about you, getting over the people pleasing thing so that you're just free to just be yourself. I also help people with anger, impatience, frustration. I have a man seeing me right now whose wife said, "I'm going to divorce you if you don't stop screaming at me and the kids." So he's in to see me to get over that. I have mothers who come in, they come in on their own. I hate my kids. I'm yelling at them all the time. I want to like them, but I don't. We work on that kind of stuff. I have a big heart for mothers because that is a very difficult job. People come to see me overwhelmed by their life and their work. They're frozen. They're stuck. Everything is just so tense for them. We make that go away so that they're free to move. We create bandwidth for their life. Like they don't have anything more to give because of this. So we create that bandwidth, or we get rid of things that are no longer useful in the subconscious. It's taking up bandwidth, and then they can breathe. So that's one of my favorite things to work on. I work a lot on loneliness. In my opinion, disconnection from oneself before connecting to mother. Whenever you do that, there's this sense of emptiness and loneliness, and it's the core unconscious initial sensitizing event for almost every single problem I see. Some people know they're lonely and empty. A lot of people find out in my session that there's a time when they were. So we work on that. I definitely love working on weight loss. You come to see me for weight loss, and some of my colleagues, it's going to be like, we get at that. What's eating you that's causing you to eat what you're eating? And it's phenomenal. It's one of the reasons why I like weight loss so much is because it's not simplistic. And after doing this for so many years, I like a challenge. That's why people are having so much trouble. You need to find the reason why they particularly are having trouble with their weight. I work on that. I don't work on drugs and alcohol if you've been diagnosed as drug or alcohol dependent. But if you're dabbling or you're doing a little too much of that and you know you're going in the wrong direction, I can get you out of that. If you're out of rehab, I can get you not to go back on it. I just have to be very careful because there are drug and alcohol counselors. And if you're been diagnosed as that, then I have to stay away from that by law. I don't work on OCD on its extreme forms. My methods just aren't proper for them. But I have helped a lot of people who've self-diagnosed with OCD, and even some people who've been diagnosed with OCD. It just depends on the person. I just have to do the work to see if it works. Many times it does. I don't work on any thing like narcissistic personality disorder, because they're not going to come in to see me anyway, unless they're just trying to prove a point to somebody. And I don't work on schizophrenia or that kinds of thing. It's just not in my realm. I also, one of my favorite things I love to work on or with, because it's very challenging and fun, is I like these mysterious health issues. When a health issue is mysterious, it usually is because there's a subconscious or unconscious component to it. So I can help clients find that and eradicate that. Things like functional neurological disorder, migraines, fibromyalgia, some of these issues that are more immune-based issues, chronic fatigue, these kinds of things are very well dealt with from a hypnotic standpoint. I get referrals from doctors, or I just work on the bandwidth, and then things improve a great deal. So that was a long answer, but this is the kind of work I do.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that, Celeste, and because that is so interesting. And a lot of the things that you were saying was like, oh my gosh, yes. Oh yeah, I struggle with that too. Yes, and that too.
A lot of it's connected, and what's so fun about this work is if you can get to the root cause, what's causing one thing, like the thing that's your top priority, is causing most of everything. So it's like you hit a domino and they all fall. So you get like 5 sessions where you're working on one issue, keeping in mind the other issues. And many times after 5 sessions, you might have a list of 20 things and they're all better. So it's exciting work.
Oh my gosh, Celeste, thank you so much for sharing. It is that time of the podcast where we like to share our nonprofit for the month. So excited. So here at Friends from Wild Places, we support a nonprofit every month. I think it's important for the community. I think it's important to give lifelines to people listening. It might be exactly what they need. And so we have all the information of the nonprofit in the show notes. But Celeste, this month we're going to be talking about the Samaritan Inn. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about the nonprofit, what it means to you, what they stand for, and how we can help them?
I love the Samaritan Inn. I love the story of the Samaritan in the Bible. You know, the guy that was put his everything aside and just helped this guy in the gutter. And so the Samaritan Inn helps the homeless. It's right up the road in McKinney, Texas, near me. Every night they have about 165 people staying the night there. They help families mostly. A lot of the homeless people are families now, children. And one of the things I particularly love about this particular homeless shelter is after a while they realized we want to help families. You can't help a family if you don't take in their dog as well, their cat, so they've got facilities for pets. And then the lady who runs the facility, I can't remember her name, and it may have changed because it's been a few years since I talked to them. But she said, when we made this decision, we were like, okay, we're going to take in pets. It's a big undertaking. And so they were ready to take in pets. They were taking in dogs. They were taking in cats. This man walks in with a parrot on his shoulder. It's just like, oh no, we don't have a cage for a parrot. But that's the kind of place they are, just big hearts. They also have all kinds of programs for mental health and job training and all of that. So the Samaritan Inn is, they have everything laid out. They're actually very transparent with their finances, so that you can feel good about that as well. But I just love that charity.
It's locally, is it local to Texas?
Yes, it is. I don't think they have any other I don't think they're in any other state, at least not. There might be other ones named to that, but it's not a part of this one.
Right. I wish they would. Hey, I mean, that's a lovely, lovely. I think every community will need a Samaritan in my personal opinion. But so it's www.saminn.org. We'll have it in the show notes. Please go and check it out. If you feel led to sponsor, donate, help out, whatever the case may be, reach out to them, find out what their needs are. We really encourage you to do so. Remember, paying it forward is, in my opinion, is really how to live life. It's helping others, serving others. That's how you have a life full of happiness and joy. It's not about you. Stop trying to make yourself happy. Stop trying to figure out ways to make yourself happy. Stop expecting other people to try and make you happy. But reach out. Start serving others. You'll see that that brings you a whole lot more happiness than you might think. So we're going to come and play a game. Okay? Little lightheartedness. It's coming to the end of the podcast, right? This is the place just to laugh a little bit, have a little bit of fun. So we're going to play Would You Rather. And Would You Rather, I have 3 statements. We have played it here on Friends from Wild Places before. I'm going to give you a statement and you can tell me which one you would rather and why if you want to share a little bit more. But it's always full of giggles and fun. So here's the first statement. All right, here we go. Would you rather speak every language in the world or be able to speak to animals? Celeste?
Every language in the world. I love languages. I can speak a little Spanish, and if I had time, I would learn just every language I could, because that's how you connect to people and cultures. And I just love people. I love animals too, and I think that would be fascinating. But since my work is with people, I've run into a few problems when English isn't the first language with some of my clients. It makes it a little more difficult for me. So definitely, that would be so cool.
Right. Tanya?
Animals, I'm taking the animal route. I'm like a big, I'm like the dog whisperer, I feel. So I really feel like I can communicate very well. So yeah, I would love to be able to communicate with all animals. And if I had another opportunity for work, it would be definitely in some form of rescue or working with animals in some capacity. So I love it.
I am 100% with Tanya.
Love it,
100%.
How
Yeah.
about you, Shireen?
Yeah, 100% with Tanya. I absolutely love animals, and if I could choose a different career, it would definitely have to be something with animals. But the funny thing is, it's been on my mind for a while. I am definitely going to study the language of Spanish as well, and learn a second language. I've always said I wanted to do it. I haven't done so, but I've really been leaning towards that more and more. But if I had to choose one, it would be speak to animals. So for sure, let's move on to the second would you rather statement. Would you rather get $1 million right now or $100,000 every year for 10 years? Tanya?
I'll take the million.
What's all? Oh my gosh, Celeste.
I would also take the million, because you never know when someone's making a promise to you, whether they can keep it or not.
Okay, I'm going to say 100,000 every year for 10 years, just because then I won't spend it once off. I can put it in savings or I can invest it. But yeah, that's what I would do. Last one. Would you rather be able to travel everywhere for free or eat everywhere for free?
I'll travel. I'll take travel. I'm sorry, I jumped ahead of you, Celeste. I'm like jumping on that bandwagon. Another career I want to do is a flight attendant. So I'm very passionate about travel.
Well, this is a tricky one, because if I could eat everything and get everything for free, I'd probably gain a bunch of weight. But I'm not traveling that much because I'm so busy. So would I take advantage of that? So this is a good question. I think I'd pick travel, just because I need to get out more.
I agree. I think travel as well. I mean, I have been an air hostess for 13 years of my life. I loved it, but that's not the reason. I love travel because that's just always been in me. I think I have a little bit of itchy feet all the time, and that's just always been me. So I'd rather travel for free and pay for the food that I eat, because I feel like the chef in the back. has worked really hard for that food. And so I want to pay for his hard work that he's put into making such awesome cultural food wherever I am in the world, whether it be Spain or France or anywhere. I want to pay them for the hard work of preparing my food for me. So definitely that way. Okay, so yes, unfortunately, we have come to the end of the podcast, but ladies, it has been amazing. So just take a few minutes to share with the listeners if they have somehow connected with you in some way, shape, or form, and they want to reach out to you, where can they find you? Celeste, go ahead.
Anybody can text me, just straight up text me. Should I give my phone number, or is it going to be in the notes?
It'll be in the notes as well, but you can give your phone number as well.
I'm writing it down as we speak. Go ahead.
972-673-0110. When you text me, just tell me you heard about me on the show. I'll give you a 10% discount on the first session. And what I'll do is I'll probably tell you, okay, now go to my website and set up a free telephone consultation. I give 30 minutes to people just listening to what's going on, so I can make sure that I'm the right fit for them. So let me give you the website too, because you could just go there and set up a telephone consultation if you like. And it is Family First Hypnosis. And first is spelled out FIRST, familyfirsthypnosis.com.
Awesome. Thank you. That'll be in the show notes as well, listeners. So we're not going to leave you hanging. But Tanya, yourself?
So yes, thank you, Shireen. So most of my free time is spent on LinkedIn. I don't have a TV. Haven't watched TV since I went to school when I was 35. So LinkedIn is my hub. You can find me there. Last name is SCOTECE. As many of the listeners know, I am a full-time professor at Miami-Dade College. I oversee the mortuary program. So anyone considering a career change, becoming a funeral director and embalmer. I also do senior placement, matching people with communities who can no longer live alone, especially our population with dementia. And I focus here in Florida on the West and East Coast. So a few counties under that umbrella. And in addition to those two, I also serve as an expert witness for funeral home and cemetery. So any personal injury out there listening, attorneys, be happy to serve your clients. I think I speak for the dead. I speak for the people who can no longer speak. And that is my passion. So I'm very excited to connect with any of the listeners out there.
Thank you, Tanya. I appreciate you. And it's so lovely to have you as my co-host and as my friend and as my sister. And I absolutely adore you. So yes, where to find me? I'm also on LinkedIn, Shireen Buerta. You can find me actually on any of the social medias if you just want to reach out to me. My business is on LinkedIn. Shireen's bookkeeping services, but let's get on the more important, Friends from Wild Places. You can find the actual website. It's friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. That's friendsfromwildplaces.buzzsprout.com. Please go and send us a message. Tell us what you think. Also, bonus content, extra content, subscribe for as little as $5 a month. It's so small. You get to hear the juicy parts of our lives and many situations and experiences that many other people are going through and how we dealt with it. It's awesome. You can find us on LinkedIn as well, Friends from Wild Places, YouTube. So if you want to go and see these wonderful faces in front of you, you just go on Friends from Wild Places YouTube channel and tell us what you think. We love to hear from you. And that's it. That's it. So thank you so much, Celeste, Tanya, for being a part of this episode. And we'll see you again next time. And remember, you got this, and stay wild. Bye, guys.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Friends from Wild Places with Shireen Buerta. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast from the links to catch every episode and unleash your passion.